Financial Survival Network, helping you survive and thrive in the new economy. Go to CarrieLutz.com and sign up for 30 free micro trainings on financial survival.
Great news, we've got a sponsor. This show is now brought to you by Miles Franklin. And when it comes to protecting your wealth, you know there's nothing better than gold and silver. That's what I'm buying. I hope you're doing the same. And once you make the decision to buy gold and silver, there's no better place than Miles Franklin. Look, they've been in business 22 years. And the reason I'm a customer is because when you buy, they ship. Go to milesfranklin.com or call them at 800-822-8080 to get a free quote. $14.90 WGCH. This is Carrie Lutz. You're listening to the Financial Survival Network. And if you're wondering what's up with gold, it's down to around $16.50. It's been under constant sell pressure for the past couple of weeks. Same with silver. If you need an answer, then Bob Chapman, the international forecaster, is someone you need to listen to. Bob, welcome back as always.
Well, thank you very much. It's nice to be here. And I think you got to look at the overall perspective. There's mountainous trouble in Europe, England, the United States, financially and economically. And what we're looking at here is a diversion. And if you can look at everybody watching gold and commodities and silver go down, then maybe they won't be as interested in what's happening over in Europe. And there's probably not anything wrong if gold and silver are going down. And so that's the game they play. It's very, very obvious that the United States government is in the market doing what they're doing, and they're blatant about it, and they want to let you know that they're punishing you for even thinking differently than they do. Where will it end? I don't know. I don't care. Could be a bottom right here today. What do? You buy. If you can't buy and you're long, you stay long. Trying to trade these markets, and I traded for 25 years as a professional, forget it. I mean, I couldn't help my subscriber base, sending messages 3 or 4 times a day, every day, sell this, buy that. I go crazy. And so would the subscribership. So we know which way this is ultimately going. And so we do what we have to do to maintain what we've got. And if you notice today and yesterday, the gains yesterday were surprising. The losses today are minuscule. I think that the shorts, unless we break the new lows on the shares, are not going to be committal. And I think that fundamentally they believe that it's too dangerous to go further short at this level. So you have in the gold and silver market, you get the U.S. government through the working group in financial markets adjusting, you may, manipulating the market. And you have, I think, a lot of people who knew what was going on regarding this, just like they knew the other day that J.P. Morgan Chase was going to have a dividend. I didn't know it. You didn't know it. But they did. And so I think they climbed on this gold thing. And one of the good things about those kind of people, and then investors, they're speculators with inside information, what they do is usually take a short-term profit, cover their short, and get out. And I think you'll start to see that. And the government wants credibility. They want confidence. And this is one way of doing it. And they're not going to get it. So many people out there know what they're up to.
At some point, the prices get low enough, and it's got to trigger demand. Because it looks to me like China is a buyer at anything under 1,700. Same with India. Same with all these other little countries' central banks, like Kazakhstan and others that have been buying gold. Countries you never even heard of are buying it. So this little raid isn't going to make any difference in the long run.
No, it's not, and we're in for the long run. I mean, how could we be anything but? And there's no safe place to go to. Anybody with any knowledge whatsoever knows the government lies about everything. They want to have one war after another. President is suing states because they're questioning his bad judgment. The thing just goes on and on and on. And sooner or later, they're going to end up with pie in their face. And I'm afraid that if we don't get the right people in office this time, that pie might very well turn into shrapnel.
Yeah, it just is amazing. Well, things go on and on until they don't anymore. And I think we're getting to the point where it just is unsustainable and it really can't continue much longer. Worldwide, I mean, what about the Greece default? What's your take on that?
An insult. The whole thing is fixed. The people who wouldn't sign on were paid to sign on. How long will it last? Maybe 6 months to a year, the money that they have, and that's it. They got to get more. And it's all in the international forecaster. We predict all these things, and we come up with the right answers usually. But that's a dog's breakfast over there. I'm telling you, they haven't even begun to suffer. And they don't care what the law says, what the rules are. I mean, the German federal court just told Germany last week, you can't have an ESM. It's unconstitutional. That's a money fund to help the nations that can't support themselves. And the EFSF is legal in Germany, so they'll have to use that. The reason they want to use the ESM is they want to run the finances of every country in Europe. When you give up your finances to an international body or somebody else, you've lost your sovereignty. They all want world government, they being the bureaucrats and the politicians and the bankers. And the Europeans know that. I bet you didn't see that over the last weekend in Spain, in over 60 cities, 500,000 people demonstrated because what they want to do is take, minor benefits away from people in labor unions. And why they want to take this away is so they can give the cost, which is profit for corporations, to them. That's what it's all about. But they're doomed. And there's just no way they can carry it off. And so that makes things pretty simple.
So how much longer can they continue to kick the can down the road is really
2 or 3 years, maybe even 4.
Think that long, huh?
Yeah. Yep, they'll play it like a Stradivarius. And they don't care who gets hurt. They don't care what happens to the people. I mean, the polls in Europe and Holland and Germany, 70% of the people want out of the euro. Mm-hmm. They're congressmen. Just laugh at them. They're all paid off.
Right. Yeah. It makes you wonder, like, when this whole crisis started, if they had just shut down these banks, liquidated them, protected the depositors, and wiped out the creditors, wiped out the shareholders, how much better off we would be, right?
Absolutely. It's called purging.
Yeah.
Classical economics. Nothing mystical about it. And they're doing some things right now that could turn into that. And we'll see. And, there's others to be heard from, like Russia and China and the BRIC nations, who say, hey, we don't want any part of that because we know it doesn't work. And now you're seeing great gobs of dollars being gotten rid of, usually to buy other things like gold, companies, whatever. And the Chinese are going to keep on slamming it to them. See, they think of, in the final analysis, having another war is going to get them out, and it's not. You see that Marine, 8 years of service in the Corps, said, I'm not going to take an illegal order from the President of the United States. In fact, I don't even believe he's president. And so people are starting to speak up. I've been talking about that on the Marine Disquisition for 8 years. Don't accept an illegal order. And it's starting.
You thinking there's going to be a military mutiny?
No, but I think they're going to put them back in their place, they being the administration and others. But I think eventually there'll be a coup. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the only disciplined group. They could take over the government, throw all of the people in Congress in jail, and get away with it. And we either do what we want you to do, or we shoot you. And make it pretty simple.
That's pretty simple, all right. I don't know.
And we'd have, legitimate civil and criminal trials, and everybody would be dealt with fairly. And then we would have new government, and the military would exit in a couple of years. It's not difficult. The military knows what's going on. I'm not talking about the Pentagon. Mm-hmm. They're all paid off. Maybe not all of them, but most of them. It's the line officers, the colonels, the light colonels, the majors, the top sergeants, the gunnies. These are the guys who are mad. How do you know I know that? Because they write to me. One of them said to me, if they bring foreign troops into this country, they will never return to their homes. I think you're getting the message.
Yeah. Got to make you wonder. You're there, you joined the service to defend the country, to uphold the Constitution, and then you see this mass lawlessness taking place, and that's what it is.
Hello.
It's complete lawlessness. How it really has to make you question everything you're doing and why you're doing it. Well, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad because there's people that really join the service who want to help protect the country, and then when they see what they're protecting and who they're keeping in power, it's got to be really disheartening.
It's very disheartening for military people, especially guys and gals that have been in 10 and 20 and more years. I mean, here they're, giving their whole life to defending their country, and they got a president who's not even an American citizen, and they all know that. And sure, they want to be able to salute the rank, which in this case is the president, who is the head of the military. But there comes a time when you got to stop screwing around with the people in the military. One war after another. Who wins? Wall Street, banking, oil companies, and so on. And they know that. They're not stupid. They're out putting their life in the line, not for the American people and the defense of the American public, but for corporate America. And it's got to stop. And if it doesn't stop, there will be a coup in the United States. And the Pentagon can go all hide, because that's where they're going to have to be. I mean, I get letters all the time about the corruption in the Pentagon. This goes back 30, 40 years. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. You play the game, you get to go there, and once you get there, all you do is steal.
Yeah, well, they can't figure out where half the defense budget goes, and it's obvious.
It's in their pockets.
It's totally obvious. And all those golf courses they have, and that only the brass can play at, and, it just goes on and on. You remember the scandal over the, $1,000 toilet seats and $100 hammers and all that? And, that's what the whole game is about. It's just totally corrupt.
And everybody, all the line officers and non-coms, they all know that. They're not stupid. And I spent a lot of time over 8 years educating those people. And a lot of them are out of the military now, but they haven't forgotten it, because I still get letters from them. And I'm very happy to help them, because I know that they're not exposed to the things that allow them to keep their retirement together and things like that. And now they're changing the rules again. I got a piece on it in this issue coming out.
I saw it.
It's dreadful.
It's just another form of servitude, military service, It's just really...
When you join, you give up all your rights.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like going to an airport and getting on an airplane. You give up all your rights. You're a federal prisoner from the moment you get to the airport to the moment you get out of the airport you're going to. No rights. And it's really disheartening. And we talk about it all the time, and the beat goes on. Even as we speak, they're thinking up new ways to take away your rights and to make you do what they want you to do. And it's getting intolerable, and something's going to break at some point. So, Bob, we got to wrap up. What's the advice on gold and silver?
I'd be a buyer.
Be a buyer.
It's a pretty easy choice. It's come down a couple of $100. So you don't have to be a genius to figure that out. Anywhere in here, you don't hit the bottom, so what? You're close enough.
It's close enough. Yeah, sometimes you just have to be right on the trend, and you don't have to be right on the money, and you're going to make money. And I think this is one of those times, and that's why people should subscribe to the Forecaster. I've been doing it for years. Bob, give us the info on that.
I certainly will. The International Forecaster is about business, finance, economic, social, political issues all over the world. It's published by email on Wednesdays and Saturdays. That runs around 35, 40 pages each time. We have a hard copy that goes out twice a month for those who are not on the internet, and everything you need to know each week is in that publication. You can get a free introductory copy by going to theinternationalforecaster.com. theinternationalforecaster.com. You can also go to intforecaster.com, intforecaster.com. For those of you who'd like to ask a question and we answer everyone, or you'd like the copies of the publication, or you'd like our latest report on gold and silver shares, all you have to do is email us. That address is Bob, B-O-B, at intforecaster.com. Bob at intforecaster.com. And for those of you who'd like to call toll-free, that number is 877-479-8178. 877-479-8178. You can get copies there, and if you want to become a subscriber, that's the place to go to. The reason why is they're giving a free one-year subscription, and the deal that they're offering is terrific.
All right, Bob. Hey, we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. We'll watch the price of gold and silver go back up once the raid's over. It's as predictable as day follows night.
You're absolutely correct.
All right. You be well.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.